The city's newest art gallery was tucked away on a quiet street, its white exterior blending in with the classic architecture of the neighborhood. Inside, the atmosphere was calm, almost reverent. The walls were lined with paintings, some abstract, some realist, each one a burst of emotion captured in colors and strokes. Amelia stood in front of one large piece, an oil painting of a sunset over the ocean, the waves crashing violently against jagged rocks. The colors were deep, oranges, reds, purples, as though the sky itself was bleeding. She felt the pull of the art, as she often did, as if it was calling to her. There was a restlessness in the way she stood there, taking in the details of the painting, yet her mind was elsewhere. In a different time, in a different place, she reached out, her fingers brushing the canvas gently, as if she could feel the texture, the movement of the artist's brushstrokes. Beautiful, isn't it? Her eyes flicked up. A man stood beside her, tall with dark hair, a black leather jacket that looked both expensive and worn. His eyes were dark too, a mixture of curiosity and understanding as he studied the painting. He wasn't looking at her, but at the artwork. His gaze seemed to pierce the colors, to seek something deeper than just a pretty image. "It is," she said quietly. "It's as if the whole world is contained in that one moment." He nodded, his attention still on the painting. "That's the idea, I think. Capturing everything in a single second. A fleeting eternity." Amelia looked at him then, truly looking. He had a presence about him, an ease, but also something thoughtful and introspective. "I'm Leo," he introduced himself, as if he could sense the curiosity in her. "Amelia," she responded. For a moment, neither of them spoke. They simply shared the space in the gallery, surrounded by works of art that seemed to echo their own thoughts. Finally, Leo turned to her. "Do you paint?" Amelia shook her head, smiling faintly. "I wish I could. I feel like I have so much inside me, but it never comes out the way I want." He smiled softly. "That's the curse of artists, I think. We always feel like we're failing in some way. But I think that's what makes the art meaningful, the struggle, the searching." She nodded, taking in his words. They stood in silence for a few moments, the sounds of quiet footsteps and murmurs around them. It was the kind of silence that felt comfortable, like they were both lost in their own worlds but still sharing the same space. And then, out of nowhere, Leo said, "I think you should paint." Amelia raised an eyebrow. "What?" "I can see it," he said, glancing at her. "You have the look of someone who's never tried but should. Maybe it's the way you look at the world." She laughed, a soft, nervous sound. "I've never even tried. I'm not sure I could even hold a brush properly." "I'll teach you," he said, stepping closer. "How about a studio date? I can show you the ropes." The sudden invitation made her pause, but there was something in his eyes that made her believe he was serious. His voice wasn't flirtatious or playful. It was genuine. Her heart fluttered for a brief second. "I don't know. I'm not really the artistic type." "You are," he replied simply. "Everyone has an artist inside them, Amelia. It just takes someone to help them find it." She looked at him, really looked at him this time. There was a quiet certainty in his gaze, like he had already known her long before they ever met. "All right," she said, her voice barely above a whisper. "Maybe I will." They stood close now, the gallery around them feeling distant. He tilted his head slightly, his gaze softer now. "I'm glad you're willing to try." Amelia smiled, and for a moment, everything seemed to pause. The city outside, the people moving around them, none of it mattered. It was just the two of them, in that tiny moment, connected by a shared promise to explore something new together. And then, without thinking, Leo leaned down and kissed her. It wasn't quick or sudden. It was slow, deliberate, like the world had brought them here, to this moment, and they were just letting it happen. His lips were warm, soft against hers, and when they pulled away, neither of them spoke. The quiet in the room deepened, and the air felt thicker with something unspoken. "Maybe we can paint together sometime," Leo said, his voice barely above a whisper. Amelia nodded, a smile tugging at her lips. "Maybe we can." And as they walked out of the gallery together, there was a sense of beginning in the air, like the first brushstroke on a blank canvas.